I've always had like an upcycling component. This is like the third iteration of me like upcycling things and trying to sell them. And like the main focus of Goddess Goods is to create clothing that highlights people's individuality and helps them like empower and like step into that goddess divinity energy. Yeah. Growing up biracial and like mainly white communities, I just like didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
All I was trying to do was assimilate.
Yeah.
It was just like protect yourself, just like be a chameleon, just try to be white, even though you're not white, but just like try to be white.
Try it. Just give it a shot.
Didn't know I was black until I was like 10. My idea of community has expanded now.
Yeah.
Because I think community back then was just like, who is gonna like keep me, make me feel safe and not make me feel ostracized?
Yeah.
And how small can I be to fit into that role that you want me to be in?
Yeah.
And Philly definitely helped me get bigger, and it helped me tap into like being a black woman and like understanding that identity is like, no, this is a core part of you, and like you've been detached from it. So of course you haven't known who you are because you didn't even know this part of you existed.
Yeah.
It was obvious.
Okay. Buenos días.
Buenos días, mi amor.
¿Cómo estamos hoy?
Bien, todo bien. ¿Y tú?
Súper bien. Muchas gracias.
Igual.
Well, now that we've established that.
And that, folks, is our mental illness in full form.
So let's get started. And I want you to tell everyone a little bit about yourself, what you've been doing, what you want the homies to know about your life, your work, your passions, etc.
Whoa, so much. Let's bring it way back.
Okay.
Biracial girl, born in 1994 in Thibodaux, Louisiana.
Yes.
What's she gonna do there? Absolutely fucking nothing. So she said, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And after college, I moved to Philly, tried to climb that corporate ladder, and was like, oh, I hate this so much. This is horrible. I'm not supposed to do this. But in the background, always making clothes, always thrifting, having a love for fashion, and always growing up not wealthy, but growing up with, like, surrounded by wealth. So always kind of feeling like an outsider, but knowing that my fashion sense was the thing that like set me apart. And could also like kind of add value to me because other people couldn't do what I did. Yeah. So fashion's always been near and dear to my heart and just a way for me to express myself. Yeah. So when I moved to Philly, started working in the fashion industry and just saw how like shitty it was. I was like, well, this is depressing and I really don't want to like work for like a massive corporate company. Yeah. So I found a little medium company. They're super cute. Working with them. They just got bought by a big company, so I'm back in the corporate bullshit. I'm like, fuck, no, I don't want to be here. But I decided to move to Puerto Rico and I have no idea how I did this.
You just woke up one day, you're like, shh, I'm in Puerto Rico?
I pretty much just like didn't think through anything and just decided to come here. And now, you know, I'm learning a lot. Yeah. So, and, you know, I think I kind of moved here to grow my mental toughness because I think living in a city, everything is so easy. Yeah. You don't realize how easy it is because it's all just like, you take it for granted. It's all there. You can have anything, anytime you want until like 3 a.m. And then you can have it again at 6 a.m. That 3-hour break, you're like, you can do anything. And here it's like, you gotta know the time, you gotta know the right people to call, you gotta like, you have so much trial and error. And I think I never had to do that. Yeah. And it's kind of having to make me trust myself and like believe in myself and be like, you can do this, you know? Like,
you can do hard things because you do them every day.
You do them every fucking day.
Whether you like it or not.
Because every day is hard as fuck. But I'm also learning if you let go and you just surrender, things work out. Yeah. Like, so easily. And I think like that trust is something that I've never really been able to tap into because it's so easy to be in control in the States. You can just control anything in any way.
Yeah.
And here it's like there's so much that's out of your control. Like,
yeah, I feel like you can kind of like manhandle situations in the States. You're like, this isn't working. Okay, I got this other route. I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah, and it's encouraged.
Yeah,
Like, the States are like, take the bull by the horns. I was literally about to say that. Take the bull by the horns and, you know, make her your bitch. And you're like, okay. And here's just like, tranqui papi.
Yeah.
Suave. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, what? Am I too hardcore? Like, what's going on?
So true. You just have to like accept that like things probably aren't going to happen today and you're going to have to wait till tomorrow and then you might have to wait an additional business day. So 3 days.
Yes. And everything, if it's the first time you're doing it, it'll likely take you 3 tries.
Yeah.
So the first try is like let's just see like what it's like.
Yeah.
Second try is like, I think I understand. And like, there was another part you didn't tell me.
Yeah.
There's I'll be ready.
It's so accurate.
It really is. So yeah.
Okay.
That's a little snapshot into where I am now we've met. What brought us together?
It's true. The 3-step process of agony of getting anything done, especially car related.
Oh God, yeah. R.I.P.
Car woes, yeah. R.I.P.
Bessie.
Bessie tried her best.
She tried her best. We had to put her down.
Yeah. May God bless her soul.
She was a good cow, but you know, her time had come. Good old Bessie.
She was on her last udder.
Bessie was on the Rainbow Bridge home. She's with Lionel now.
Lionel, oh, bless his soul, Lionel.
I feel like I'm like more insane than I was last time.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Some days you just lose your mind and then you just accept that. That's part of the process.
Yeah, it's part of the process.
Yeah.
Except losing your mind.
Yeah, just like fragments of your reality. Just
losing your mind actually makes you more free.
It's true. Because then you have nothing to worry about. Because it's like once you hit rock bottom,
there's nowhere lower, baby. Literally, with all my car shit, I was like, I can only go up from here. I'm like, I don't have a car now, so there's nothing like bad that can happen
my car
anymore.
can't break down because it literally can't do anything.
Because it can't turn on anymore, so it's fine.
Yeah. So, now that you're free from that car situation, what else do we have to look forward to? You've been working on your business, Goddess Goods.
Yes.
You've been doing some pop-ups.
Yeah.
What do you have going on with that?
Goddess Goods it's something I've had for at least 4 years now, I think. And I've always had like an upcycling component. This is like the 3rd iteration of me like upcycling things and trying to sell them. And like the main focus of Goddess Goods is to create clothing that highlights people's individuality and helps them like empower and like step into that goddess divinity energy.
Yeah.
Which lights Goddess Goods. So I try to put like the word goddess, like hand embroidered goddess, into everything that I make.
Oh.
Everything that I buy is from thrift stores or here flea markets, and then I either sew it, bleach it, just like make it different, make it original, because you know we're all individuals and like. It feels wrong that us being these individualistic people that all look different, have different body types, have different ideas and visions and like goals are like kind of fed this idea that like you need to shop at Target. Like wear this, look how cute this thing is at Target. You can wear the same thing as 10 million people.
Yeah.
Like that, like,
and it's in season.
Oh
yeah.
God. Oh my God, I love buying stuff out of season.
Yeah.
Like even just like the stupid fashion rules, like you can't wear white after Labor Day. I'm like, who the fuck says, like why?
Yeah, and like when is Labor Day?
Are we in the
anyway?
1940s? Like
nobody cares.
I don't know, is there, who's the Labor Day police?
Yeah, where they at?
Where are you? Cuff me.
Take me
Fucking
away.
do it. I dare you. But Goddess Goods, so in Philly, Goddess Goods was definitely like a huge focus of mine. It was a major side hustle, doing markets almost every weekend. And, you know, I gained a lot of just like meaning and joy doing those pop-ups and meeting people and just like connecting and like meeting people that saw what I was doing, you know? And I feel like here, it's just different. It's not the same. I mean, especially on the west side, it's like, it's just surfing. That's all people care about.
Pretty much.
No one's trying to like buy clothes from
They're
an
like
artist.
not wearing clothes. They're
You're not wearing clothes. Exactly. Like, there's no reason to be like, oh, I'm gonna buy this shirt that I'm gonna wear never.
Never.
I'm literally wearing a bathing suit or a tank top.
Yeah.
Like, my goal here is to be as like cool, like cool temperature-wise as possible. Like, also as cool as possible.
As cool as possible.
As cool as possible. But also as like not sweaty as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Personally. But I feel like I would like to explore like San Juan more and like tapping into that community.
Ooh,
'cause
yeah.
I feel like those are my people.
Yeah, there's a good creative community in San Juan, definitely.
Yeah. I love I just love being in cities for that creative aspect. I didn't realize how much I loved that about Philly. Like, just so many creatives, so many people doing their own thing, and like so many opportunities to collaborate and get together. But I have to like remind myself that I chose to come here and I chose to isolate myself because I need to like find my voice.
Yeah.
I was about to say again, but like I just need to find it.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
to start.
Yeah. Like growing up in the South and growing up biracial and like mainly white communities, I just like didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
All I was trying to do was assimilate.
Yeah.
It was just like protect yourself, just like be a chameleon, just try to be white, even though you're not white, but just like try to be white.
Try it.
I
Just
also
give
like,
it a try.
didn't know I was black until I was like 10. Like,
Wow.
I didn't understand that as a concept.
How did you understand the concept at 10? Like, what happened that you like?
A black woman asked me if I was black, and I was like, no, I'm brown. And she was like, no, are you black? And I was like, I think so.
Shit. Also, what kind of a question is that?
No. Are you black? Because I guess like, I don't know, here I'm very tan, so I'm obviously a black woman. I feel like in the States I can get pretty fair. And
So she was just like legitimately confused about your ethnicity.
genuinely asking me what I am. I mean, like Indian, like people from India have been like, they like say hi to me, like when my hair would like be straight. Like I can be in like so many different
chameleon mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm now like a black woman, but like growing up, I was very racially ambiguous.
Okay.
So
They're like,
that
what
was
part
just-
of the Hawaiian Islands are you from?
literally, are you Polynesian? Like, what are we doing? I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just from Thibodeau, Louisiana. I don't fucking know.
Can I just be that? Thank you.
I'm like, I'm just Jade. I don't know. I like asked my mom, and she was like, yeah, you're black. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, I didn't know I had to tell you. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks.
Could have been useful information.
Yeah.
To my little brain.
But it's like, yeah, she had me when she was like 16. So by the time I asked that, she's like, what, 24? She's like,
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Like,
She's like, what am I?
I'm like, she's not prepared to be a mother, let alone a white mother of a black child.
Yeah.
Like, how do you even
race.
prepare for that? you
Yeah.
know, in the South, like, without
Yeah.
the black parents involved. Like, there's no connection to that black community. So
Yeah.
a lot of my life has been searching for where I fit in and where I belong and like where I can, like my idea of community has expanded now.
Yeah.
Because I think community back then was just like, who's gonna like keep me, make me feel safe and not make me feel ostracized?
Yeah.
And how small can I be to fit into that role that you want me to be in?
Yeah.
And Philly definitely helped me get bigger, and it helped me tap into like being a black woman and like understanding that identity is like, no, this is a core part of you, and like you've been detached from it. So of course you haven't known who you are because you didn't even know this part of you existed.
Yeah.
You know, it was obvious, but
Yeah.
I had no connection to it. So Puerto Rico, I kind of moved here because it did give me like a racial ambiguity again.
Yeah.
Where Philly, I feel like I really identified as a black woman, and like all the racial things that were happening with all the murders and all the riots, like that was the catalyst that brought me into like, oh my God, I'm a black woman, and I have a lot of internalized racism that I have not looked at, and I didn't know existed, and that have been like controlling my fucking life.
Yeah.
So then I went hard into the like, I'm a black woman, and like that's it, I'm a black woman. And now I'm like, okay, I'm like a biracial woman, I'm black, like there's all these different parts of me, like I'm not just like one big identity.
Yeah.
And I think like I felt a safety in Puerto Rico that everyone just assumes that I'm Puerto Rican.
For
and, like,
sure.
my race isn't a question, and it's not like, I don't know, it's not a part of conversation.
Yeah.
Until they're like, oh, you're American. Like,
Yeah. Like, what?
Until they hear me speak and they're like, oh. You're okay. You've just been pretending that you're Puerto Rican this whole time, but you're not.
I was just existing, but thank you.
I was also trying to be a chameleon again, but I'm gonna come back out. I'm gonna do myself. So
yeah, I mean, like
interesting.
Puerto Ricans look every way you can imagine.
shade.
Like I could be Puerto Rican, you could be Puerto Rican. Like it's like every shade, texture, color, like. That's
like
a cool thing about
safety
Puerto
in it.
Rico.
Yeah, it's like that's what you'd expect, you know, like the world to look like at this point.
Pretty much,
Massive
yeah.
melting pot of like all these different people and like, but still tied together by being Puerto Rican. You know, it's not like, well, I'm a black Puerto Rican and you're a white Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
so we're Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
and like. You know, maybe I'm like more Spanish and maybe you're more Taino, but like we're Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And there's not like as harsh of a divide, I feel like, as in the States.
That's true.
And
even other Latin American countries too, where it's like there's like one group of people predominantly and then a sub category that's much smaller percentage of the population.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really interesting. So since you've been here, like how have you kind of identified and what have you learned about yourself and how you want to be identified?
Ooh, what have I not learned about myself? This has been 6 months of like intense boot camp, I feel like, for me. Like I moved here being like, I'm just gonna surf and I'm gonna live on an island. It's gonna be like so cute. And I'm gonna be like a hot little like black surfer chick.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm uncovering the depths of like my pain and my identity every fucking day.
While also being a cute surfer chick.
Also being a cute surfer chick.
It's
and
like
having my ass out and looking cute.
Yeah.
Sneaking away from some boys because they'll let me. I'm like, oh, you're gonna yell at me? Look at my butt.
But have you seen this?
Have you seen my donk? Per se? Question, have you seen the donk? Well, I recently realized that I have been pretending to be Puerto Rican.
Oh, fascinating.
Because you know me, like I'm so like bubbly and loud and like I love talking to people and connecting.
Yeah.
That's a core part of who I am. But here, when I'm by myself, I try to be like quiet and like, I don't say anything. And I will like, oh, sí, lots of sí. Oh, qué bueno. I don't know what people are talking about and I'm trying to just like get through it and like, I don't want people to know that I'm American. Like I want to blend in. And it kind of like showed me that that part of me that wants to just be accepted is such a like powerful part and it shifts no matter where I am.
Okay.
So that's kind of been something that I've been working on of like, okay, so you felt like isolated and you felt like Puerto Rico hasn't been the place that you've expected it to be, but you also haven't been yourself here.
Yeah.
You haven't been who you are here, so you're not experiencing it as yourself.
Yeah.
You're experiencing it as a smaller version of yourself. Like that same theme of like trying to make myself small, trying to fit in, trying to be accepted.
Yeah.
And it's like, can I just trust that I'll be accepted for exactly who I am?
Yeah, or you can do whatever pleases you and also not care if you're not accepted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, sometimes it's like you just have to recognize that like some of these people aren't for me and that's okay and they're not gonna get me, but like I also don't get them.
Yeah.
And like we don't have to get each other. We can like respect each other and like move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like not have it mean anything about anyone. I can't remember who. I think I was in my undergrad. Someone told me this like rough statistic that like 80% of people essentially you're not going to give a shit about and they're not going to give a shit about you. And then 20% of people you're going to hate and they're going to hate you. And there's going to be 20 other percent with this three-legged doggy that's just come over here, included in the 20% that you vibe hard with. And so basically, that's not 100%. I should have said 10 and 10. I don't know math. 20, 20, 40, 80 is 120%. Wow.
So out of the 120% of people you meet, you're gonna like 15.
Yes.
Based on math.
Based on.
You don't need to check this actually. We've been doing it. Don't worry. Like don't.
Just take our word for it.
This is complex math, so like I just wouldn't even check it. It's kind of a waste of time for you, and you're gonna feel really stupid if you check it. So like don't. I'm trying to help you guys.
Yeah. Doing you a solid, really. At the
We're
end
trying
of the
to
day.
help the viewers. Just don't look at it. It's whatever.
So what I meant was the rest of the 20%, which breaks out into 10%. So basically, there's only 10% of people that you're gonna vibe hard with.
Yeah.
The rest of the people you're either not gonna care about or you're like not going to like.
Yeah.
So it really, when you like walk into a room with 100 people,
we're going back, okay?
it's gonna be 10 of those people. And the rest you're like, bye, Felicia.
And it's true, honestly. Like when I think about like friendships, like either I vibe with you immediately or like I don't really care about you.
Yeah.
You know? But it's like it's definitely like an ingrained thing of like, you know, always being the only in every experience growing up, that it was just like I need to blend in to be safe. Because there's no one that looks like me and there's no one that understands me, and like just like it's a primal fear, you know, of just like if I'm not understood, I'm gonna be rejected and I'm not gonna have anything.
Yeah.
Like, family also didn't feel like a safe space, so it's like I just didn't feel safe anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like I can't go home and feel safe. I can't go out in the world and feel safe. I'm just like unsafe as I am as Jade. Jade is unsafe, and like that has been the biggest like learning. Like even like not having a car. Like the second I had a car, like in like late in high school, I feel like my level of like personal safety that I felt within went up so hard.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I can do anything that I want. I can leave any situation. I can go to any situation. Like I just feel so safe when I have a car. So like all my car issues that have been happening have been like
it's so
deep
triggering.
pains for me. Like literally like breakdowns. Like having a breakdown while my car is breaking down. Like
we're breaking down together, boo.
I'm like, I'm breaking down in solidarity. And it's like, it's funny to like, I mean, I used to have like panic attacks like in college and like young adulthood. If we'd go to parties and I didn't have my car, like I would legit like, have a panic attack,
too.
I was like, I can't, like I need to leave. I need to be able to leave.
Yeah,
I need to leave.
you needed like your escape route for sure.
Like,
Yeah. But
like
also like those are the times where it's like you end up hanging out with people you don't give a shit about and you're stuck there because someone peer pressured you into doing it. Yeah. You never wanted to be there to begin with, but like if you drive, you know you can leave when it gets to the tipping point. But when you're with someone else, you're just sitting in it.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I just started making good friends, I feel like, in the last like 4 years.
Yeah.
Like something shifted in me. I don't know what. Maybe it was that like understanding that like I don't like everyone, you know, like why am I trying to make these like surface level friends? I want people that I can go deep with immediately, and like it's not trauma bonding, it's just connecting. It's being human. I feel like trauma bonding has now been this like extremely negative thing that's been put on us, and like I know my therapist was always like, yeah, Jade, you're trauma bonding with people, like you need to like relax, and I was like, but like when people haven't experienced that much trauma, I feel like I can't connect to you because there's like a depth to experiencing trauma. Like, and trauma shouldn't be like celebrated, you know, it's an unfortunate like set of cards that people were dealt. But I noticed that like if you haven't felt like an outsider and like truly been an outsider, if you haven't had that like picture perfect life, like I know no one's life is perfect, and I know that like money doesn't buy happiness. But, like, there's certain ease that other people have and have had in life that they don't have the depth of like thinking about others.
Yeah.
Of, like, having that kind of deep empathy because you feel it in your body and you've experienced it, you know? And like, if you don't have that depth, then like, you're going to be using me because I have that depth. And I can't turn it off.
Yeah.
Like,
or it's just like, you're trying to come here, but that person can only reach here. So no matter what you do, there's this gap that's just never going to be bridged.
Yeah.
It's, some people can get there by like intellectualizing things. But most people can't, because it's like, if you haven't experienced something, for the most part, it's like unfathomable. Too. Unless you have in like a deep sense of empathy. And then even then it's like you can be like, oh, that must be hard, but you still don't understand the nuance of what comes with that territory.
I feel like that's coming up for me in dating as well. Like I think I've been dating a lot of like men that don't really have much trauma, and I have loads of trauma. Whoa,
like, take some.
please help. But I feel like it was much easier for me to heal it in friendships, which is why I have like incredible friendships. But relationships, I think, is a space where that like I feel unsafe is like even triggered to like the max.
Yeah.
And dating up until this point, I mean, up until the last like 2 months, I feel like I've started dating consciously and being like, oh, this is a trigger.
Yeah.
And this actually has nothing to do with the other person. They said something that's reminding me of something, and like, it's my job to communicate and to breathe through it and to like, you know, say what I need to say and share what I need to share. And if they don't understand, then like, that's okay. And, like, that's not my person. You know, if they can't hold me in that space and just hold space for me, then like, it's not gonna work because I have a lot of shit that's gonna come up. You know. And I feel like I've been like really rewarded. Seems like a weird word, but like, just like affirmed. Yeah. I think a lot of my dating has still been in that like, how small can I be? How appeasing can I be? Like, if I am small and if I have no needs, then there's no reason for you to leave me. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty much a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
Like,
do whatever you want.
I won't even say anything if you don't want. And it's like not me at all.
No, you can only do that for so long.
Yeah,
before,
it's not real.
Yeah.
But it was like such an innate survival mechanism that I didn't even know that I was doing it. Yeah. Like I didn't realize that I wasn't being myself in relationships until like a few months ago. And I was just like, I'm not me. I'm not who my friends like love, you know?
Yeah, it's fascinating because it's like you try to be a lesser version of yourself and then you're like, oh, they're not gonna love me. But it's like, how could they? Because you're not even being you. So you can't even give them the opportunity to love you because they don't know you.
Yes, I'm like already, I'm avoiding your perceived rejection by not even showing you who I am. It's almost like the same idea of like procrastination of like,
totally.
I'm not gonna do it well because I don't have time. So like, it's whatever. Like you can't reject me because I did it last minute. So like, it wasn't even my best work. It's like, yeah, I could have started it 2 months ago, but I didn't. So you can't judge me. It's like, yeah, but I can judge me. Like,
Yeah,
just fucking do the thing you want to do, you know?
I thought this was foolproof.
And it never is.
No. Yeah, I started listening to this podcast. I think maybe I told you about it, called Unfuck Your Brain.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, everyone should listen to that podcast. It's incredible. But I think her name is Carla Lowenthal or something, and she talks about procrastination and how essentially it is your brain trying to avoid something that it perceives as danger. And so, like, let's say you have like a report to write. Yeah. Your brain is going to be like, that report is super dangerous, so I'm not gonna write that because it's trying to kill me. Yeah. So I'm gonna do this instead until you realize, oh, now the thing that's gonna kill me is the deadline. Yeah. And I have to do that because otherwise I'm gonna die. So then you do the report, but if you would have just done the report to begin with, you would have avoided all of the stress of the deadline. Wow. And actually done it well. And once I heard it like that, I was like, oh, I'm just trying to avoid things that are trying to kill me. Oh my goodness. Do you want to come over, please? Look
this
at
is actually a puppy,
a
puppy show?
This is a puppy show. Okay, this is Dogs of YouTube, and you win the award.
Oh my God, why are you so
cute? We were talking about procrastinating, and now here you are to save us. Please come back.
You got it, ladies. Keep going. You guys are talking about important stuff.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so cute. We were just blessed by God himself.
God said, yes, you're on the right track. Here's a doodle.
Here's a doodle.
Here's a doodle.
It's like a doodle.
Take it as a good sign. I give you a doodle.
You have been so good. Here is a doodle.
Don't take the doodle lightly.
I think every time we do something right, we should get a doodle.
I think so. Maybe we should just give ourselves doodles.
Should we have a doodle farm?
By farm, we mean natural sex. Yeah. You know, we're not, no puppy farms.
No puppy mills. No. It is purely a free-range habitat.
A free-range doodle. We actually own a free-range doodle habitat together. I think it could be a great Airbnb experience, too.
Oh, doodle yoga?
Which is just playing with doodles on mats.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that we're meant to do in life. So actually,
that feels right.
Okay, everything's making sense now. We came to Puerto Rico to meet each other so we could start our free-range doodle yoga experience. Oh my God, I knew it all along. This is why we were meant.
I know, it was kind of, yeah.
It was like obvious.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I can't believe we didn't see it until just now.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm glad that we figured that out. Now we can like give up all the rest of the stuff we've been doing.
Yeah, now we don't have to work anymore.
Because obviously our doodle habitat will be funded by the energy of the universe.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We actually don't take currency. We take shells and beautiful leaves and pressed flowers.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's how we sustain everything. We use that to fuel the electricity that we use.
Yes. That's how we buy food for the dogs.
Yes.
It's like,
they eat flowers also.
Yeah. They're herbivores.
Yeah.
It's really natural. It's very natural for dogs to only eat plants.
Yeah, so. Specifically dried flowers. Yeah. Everything they need, complete nutrition.
Complete nutritional value.
Yeah. Okay.
The sun is now making me put my glasses back on.
Yeah. So we talked about a little bit of your background and the fact that you've been into fashion.
Fashion.
And obviously we can see that you're into fashion because look at it, it's fashion, baby.
It's fashion. Thanks.
So you've been doing goddess goods, but like before, like how did you start that? Like how did you get into fashion? How did you ramp up into doing your own thing? Like what was the trajectory that got you there?
As a kid, I don't think I ever had a full priced item of anything. Like everything was on sale.
Yeah.
So everything was like making the best of what the sale rack had. Like finding the best thing and like making it work. Whether that was like wrong sizes, too tight, too big, like I just had to like learn how to work with it. So I kind of had this thrill of the hunt energy. And whenever I found thrift stores, I was like, oh my God, like there's so many options. There's so much more options at the sale rack. Like, and everything's cooler. There's older things, there's newer things, like so much to mix and match. And I feel like, I don't know, I've always had an eye for fashion and like style and just like trends, and I can just feel if I see something on someone, I'm like, that's gonna be something, because I haven't seen that in a while, and like that's about to be something, and I have that like innate understanding and knowing,
like pattern recognition of like what stands out.
Yes, yeah, and I like love that. I love that part of me. But like growing up in Louisiana, like there's no fashion. It's like cowboy boots and like bright purple or bright yellow dresses for LSU. Like, wow, it was so gross.
Sounds beautiful.
Chevron print.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It was
That
gross.
does sound like trauma, actually. That does sound traumatic.
Have you ever been in a field surrounded by cowboy boots and chevron print?
No, please, no.
Don't take me back there. So gross.
This makes a lot of sense now, yeah.
Yeah. And like in middle school and high school, I only wore uniforms.
Oh,
so I didn't get to express myself in that way. But I'm actually happy I didn't, because I was like the poor kid. So like all these kids would be wearing like, you know, nice, cool, new shit, and I'd be wearing like, you know, here's some old jeans I've had for 4 years. They're high waters now.
Yeah.
These don't fit me, but that's all we got.
That's like in style now, so actually you were just ahead of the curve.
Bro. I really was. I was actually a trendsetter as of 14 years ago.
Yeah.
So you might want to take note.
Yeah, write it down, honey.
But my grandma taught me how to sew when I was probably like 8 or 9, I would say. And I was making like little bags out of old rags and just like learning how to sew that way. And I remember feeling so much pride in like, I made this. Like, I made this thing, and like I get to carry it around, and that just like stayed with me. And in college, I don't know why, I think ear warmers were like in sophomore year of college. There was like a big ear warmer thing. And Urban Outfitters were selling these like big chunky ear warmers for like $30. And I was like, I can make that for $5.
Yeah.
Like, I've always been a like, I can make that. I'm not fucking paying you.
Yeah.
I can fucking make it. Like, no one needs to know how I made it or like what it looks like on the inside, but I can make it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not gonna be perfect, but like, no one needs to know.
Yeah.
So I started going to thrift stores and buying like old vintage sweaters.
Amazing.
And making these big chunky ear warmers and making like leg warmers. I would make like scarves and cardigans.
Yes.
And just like making these different things out of these sweaters that have been just chilling in the thrift store like forever.
Ever, yeah.
And it just, took off. Like, it was so easy and so simple, and I feel like a lot of people resonated with it, but I was still on that like corporate track. Like, I was like, this can't be a business. Like, I'm not gonna be a business owner. I'm going to corporate. Like,
obviously.
Like, that's where I'm gonna be the most fulfilled. Like, 'cause that's where my mom says I'm gonna be the most fulfilled.
Yeah, and everything that she says is true. So,
oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm like dying. What is
happens
happening?
to the best of us.
Okay. So yeah, that was Annamabella in college. I was like, I need a cool like foreign name that means beautiful soul. So I did beautiful soul in Italian, Annamabella. And I did that for years, probably like 2 years. And then I stopped that for a while, was in corporate, moved to Philly. And then when I quit my corporate job, I had like a year of just like, I don't know what I want to do, what I'm going to figure out. And then I was like, maybe I'll bring this back. And I brought it back as Renew. And it was just a lot of like, it was mainly t-shirts. It wasn't sewing really. I was like cropping stuff, like cropping denims, like making jean shorts, dyeing all this stuff. So it was more simple, but, and I also wasn't as like confident. I was like 22, maybe, and I was just like, I'm gonna do this thing, maybe. Like, if people like it, I don't think anyone's gonna like it, but I'm gonna do it, but I don't think anyone's gonna like it, so I'm not really gonna do it that much. So I didn't really like give it my all, because I didn't believe in myself.
Yeah.
And then I stopped that, and then probably like 2, 3, or 4 years later, I started Goddess Goods, but it actually started because I was listening to a podcast about adornment and like the ancient art of like adornment and how like, you know, like wearing amulets and like in all of these ancient civilizations, it's like wearing certain things like was understood to like bring power and like mean certain things. And, like how like purple is like royalty and like black is like mourning and death. Like just thinking about all these different things, and I actually had like this download. I remember calling my friend and I was like, I'm gonna have something. It's gonna be called Goddess Goods, and it's gonna be about adorning yourself, like in your body, and like that's all I got. But that's a thing that's gonna happen at some point. Wow. And maybe a year later, I was working at this women's retreat that I did for like 2 years prior. It was like my third year, and I've always just been helping, and I love it. I love just like being with women and like in a healing space. Like I feel like that is like that's where I feel the most confident, is like holding space for women to heal. It's just like, it feels so like easy and natural. Yeah. Like I'm like, girl, let's fucking cry. Yeah. I don't know you. We could cry in this circle together. I don't care. Let's go. So I was there, and they're like, hey, do you want to like bleach some of our shirts and then like sell them like at the event? And I was like, sure, I'll do that. So we're all like, the women that were helping were saying, it was like a massive cabin. There's probably like 20 beds in it. So like all the participants are like in their different workshops, and we're like in the cabin. Then everyone's like, I want to try this on. I want to try this on. So like everyone's trying on the different shirts. I'm like cutting it on them, like figuring out what silhouettes they want, like how they want to look. And one of them like turned, she looked at me, and she was like, I feel like a goddess. And I was like, it's Goddess Goods. It's Goddess Goods. It's happening. Like, this is what I'm doing. That's what I want to do. Like, help women feel just like so fucking empowered and like who they are, just from like from what they're wearing. Like as simple as that. And like that was kind of where Goddess Goods started, and then it eventually grew into, you know, all right, I embroider goddess on everything. Like everything has a spiritual component. Everything has like an eye on it. Everything's a little mystical. Like it's about the like divine feminine and like what's happening underneath the surface, you know? Yeah. And I knew that I always felt so much confidence when I wore something that I made. Like that's where I'm like just total power mode. Yeah. Like, and I kind of made Goddess Goods because I wanted people to have like that little power piece, you know? Yeah. Like your first date, you're nervous, wear your Goddess Goods shirt. I wore my Goddess Goods shirt on my first dates. I wore like my Goddess Goods stuff asking for a raise at work. Like, it's like I use it as like I'm that fucking bitch. Like I'm a fucking goddess. I'm wearing my one-of-a-kind fucking piece that I made. Yes. That like, of course I fucking deserve this, you know? Yeah. Like, I have nothing to be scared of.
It's like a power pose, but an article of clothing. Yes. But yeah.
It's almost like a security blanket.
Yeah, yes, like very cute security blanket.
Yeah, it's a super hot security blanket. But only you know it's a security blanket. So yeah. Okay,
that's incredible. So you said that like since you've gotten to Puerto Rico that it's been different, obviously, because the culture is different. So in terms of where you're going with that, do you think you're going to keep it going as is, or do you have like a pivot in mind, or are you going to turn your attention elsewhere? Like, what do you, like, where are you headed?
It's a great question. Let me know when you find out, because I don't know where I'm going.
Hey, you, we need to ask you something.
Do you know where I'm going?
Yeah.
I'm actually completely lost.
Can you please, yeah.
No, I think like I came in, I was like super adamant, I was working super hard at it. I was like, I moved here with the idea, I was like, I got a 2-bedroom apartment so that 1 bedroom is my studio. And like, I work and I sew and I do stuff, but then like doing all the pop-ups and like doing all this work, it's very disheartening, especially coming from like what I can make in Philly and like what like a 6-hour market was like in Philly, and just like in terms of the people that I'm meeting, the connections I'm making, and then also like the monetary exchange of it is like, of course I'm gonna do this and I'm excited to do this.
Yeah.
And, like, all my free time was spent going to thrift stores. Like I've had like a slow day at work. It was like, okay, I'm gonna go thrift for like 3 hours and come back and like have all this inspiration, new things I'm gonna make. And here, it's like there's no thrift stores. There's only flea markets on Saturdays. You need to get there at like 7 a.m. to like get some good stuff.
The latest, yeah.
And then it was like, now I'm popping up at these markets, and they're just not my clientele.
Yeah.
You know? It's just not the people that would value what I'm making.
Yeah.
They don't see it. They're not looking for it, and it's nothing against them. It was just like there's a disconnect, and I'm kind of starting to shift to just doing stuff for friends. Like one of my friends has like a sweatshirt from her ex that she loved, and she was just like, I don't like it because it reminds me of him, but I love the sweatshirt itself. She's just like, will you just like make something on it? Like, will you do something to it? So I started embroidering this like really cool like crystal ball, like an eye, and it was just like felt so like fulfilling to like reconnect to why I'm doing it, because for a while it's like that's the reason I make God is Good. It's like give you that like piece that you just feel connected to, but you know, after a while you kind of lose that. And I think when I got here I was still just like, just produce, like make some shit, just like, you know, fucking make stuff. But I wasn't feeling connected to it. I wasn't like able to channel that and like really talk to people about it. It was just like, oh, like if you like anything, let me know. You know, but it wasn't like, yeah, this is all upcycled, and like I want you to feel like a goddess, and I want you to like, you know, tap into that divinity.
For sure.
I didn't have that reconnection to it.
Yeah.
So now I kind of like want to start working on just like custom projects, make it really small, make it really chill. Like it doesn't need to be a side hustle. It can be a hobby again.
Yeah.
And like if I go back to the States, like I know this will always continue.
Yeah.
Like I can't not do it.
Yeah.
Like it's just who I am.
Yeah.
I've tried to not do this for many years, and I've done it 3 different times in 3 different ways. And God is Good might turn into something else soon. Like I don't know, but I know that like I'm trying to rediscover my connection and my love to it, and like why I'm doing it. And yeah, it's just hard because it's hot as fuck here. I'm not like making big oversized shirts. I'm trying to wear a tank top or like a bathing suit top and like shorts.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
So clothing isn't the focus anymore. Like I really am on like an internal journey right now. And that's triggering a lot of like insecurities. I'm like, am I successful? Am I wasting my time? Like I'm not producing anything. I'm not moving towards something. What's my goal?
Yeah.
This is the first time in my life that I haven't had like a goal, small or big, that I'm like moving towards. Because God is Good was kind of that. Like God is Good is always in the back of my head. It's like, I'm working, I'm doing my job, and then like I'm doing markets on the weekend, and like I have another market, and I have another market, and like I have this thing, and I'm gonna do this interview, and I'm gonna do this thing. Like I always had these things that just kept me distracted and like moving towards something. And I kind of, I subconsciously knew that I needed to stop so that I could do it with more fulfillment and like more grounded, and not just like doing it like in the motion of like I'm trying to like succeed, and I'm trying to like be something and prove something to someone.
Yeah.
Whoever. I don't know who the fuck
somebody.
It is. Anybody, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to want to prove to you that, just that's it. I just want to prove this. Like, what the fuck? So like, I feel it's funny, like all my friends are like, oh my God, how's Puerto Rico? Like it looks amazing. It's like magical and sunsets. And I'm like, I'm in a dark night of the soul part too.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm handling it better because I've already been through many. But I'm like, I feel like I'm going through it with purpose and like knowing where I'm going.
Yeah.
You know? So it's hard for me to be like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know like what my goals are and where I want to be in a year. Like all I know is I want to just ground into myself and like really hear my voice and know that my intuition is mine and not like an internal voice of like someone else that that I don't know.
And that takes like time and effort and energy, and I mean, what better place to be doing that, like near the ocean?
Yeah.
Like, there's not a whole lot else going on over here, so you might as
There's
well
really not, exactly. There's no distractions.
get to know yourself intimately.
Yeah, that's been the goal.
Yeah.
I forgot too. You know, I got here and I was just like, why is everything just hard and like I'm not inspired and like I don't want to do stuff, and it's like, yeah, you're supposed to just like chill. Like,
yeah.
You're supposed to like get back into your yoga, like journal more, meditate, create these like deep practices for yourself, and like just get to know yourself without distractions and without input.
Yeah.
I think also in a city, it's like it's so easy to compare.
So easy.
So many people are doing so many things. You're like, why am I not doing that? Why am I not doing that? Should I be doing this? Should I be on that level? What am I doing? Wait, how is he doing that? Why should I? And it's like,
yeah.
relax. Tranquilo.
Yeah, tranquilo.
Lord.
Yeah, it's like in our society, we are meant to be producing, progressing, like always be thinking about the next, the better, whatever. And like, that's not so much a thing in Puerto Rico, especially in the lesser populated areas where people are just living their life without trying to attain something or be going somewhere. It's like we're just waking up every day, nourishing our bodies, spending time with the people we care about, and, you know, like pursuing things that bring us enjoyment.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. So all these ideas about ambitions and success and status and, you know, all of that doesn't really matter.
It doesn't exist here.
Okay.
There's like, I'm sure there's some of it in like San Juan. And I'm sure there's people that are passionate about what they do.
For sure,
and they're, like climbing that. But like, for the most part, like, fucking, like, people just in an office, they don't fucking care. Like, they're just like, I'm doing this job because I have to do a job.
Yeah.
And like, yes, that's how it should fucking be. Like, why are we prioritizing this, like, work identity? We're like, yeah, like, whatever, my personal life's this, but like, my work life, like, I'm gonna be like the CFO of this startup company. I'm like, do you even want to fucking do that? Like, the amount of things I do, like, in business and like stuff that I've tried to do in like corporate, I'm like, I don't want any of this. Like, this is actually completely soul killing to me.
Yeah.
And I want nothing to do with
it.
Like, I don't thrive here.
Yeah.
I thought I did because I thrive at being a perfectionist.
Yes.
So I was good at not making mistakes and being like very sharp and like, you know, having that people pleasing tendency and like fear of making a mistake. So it seemed like I was really good in a corporate environment.
Yeah.
But like, as I like get to know myself, I'm like, I am such a like free spirit. I need like very loose rules and laws and like, you know, like figure it, like you can do whatever in this capacity. And I'm like, cool, I'll like be creative and figure it out. But like a rule book of like, no, you have to do this and then step 2 and then step 2A and then you gotta go to 2B and then back up to 2A and then go to 2C. It's like, what the fuck or why? Why? It's not even efficient. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I hate
the rules.
It's like, dim the brakes, you know? Like, that's it. And it's like, well, it's stupid.
Yeah.
And I have that energy now in corporate environments. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's a waste of my time and energy.
Yeah. I mean, it mostly is for everyone, but we're all just pretending that it is worthwhile.
Yeah.
And like, maybe we can stop pretending and start doing things that like fuel our souls because life is short.
Yeah, it really is. I'm like, honestly, I'm preparing to be laid off from my company that we've been through like 4 layoffs in the last like 6 months. So I'm like, it's coming. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just move to Mexico and become like a surf guide at like a resort or something.
I don't hate that idea.
Right? Like, I'm like, I think it's time just to like leave this corporate path, because it definitely is like something that is ingrained in me of like, if you don't have a salaried corporate paying job, you're not going to survive and you're going to die alone in the street.
Yes.
It's like,
that's the natural progression.
That's how it happens. When I left my corporate job the first time, that was like my fear. I was like, I'm gonna be homeless. I'm gonna be homeless.
I had that same fear too.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna waste away.
Yeah.
All my friends are like, you have multiple friends that love you that have homes that you can stay in. Like,
oh, I forgot about that
far
tiny
from that.
detail. Tiny little detail.
I'm like, people can help me? There's help? What?
Who told you this?
I don't fucking believe you. I don't believe you.
No, we're going under the bridge.
No, I'm going immediately to living under the bridge.
Yeah, I'm gonna get fired and the next day it will be under the bridge.
So so silly.
Yeah.
It's like
Our
fun to
subconscious
laugh about it, though.
brains just really want to do the most.
Yes. Yeah.
We can do less.
The most protecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, I got you, and you're like, you don't have to have me. I actually have myself. I'm fine. We're good. Appreciate you and your intensity, but I'm actually A-okay.
A-okay. I really want to point out that there are these pelicans that keep dive bombing the water, and I'm really hoping that it's visible in the camera. But anyway.
So beautiful today.
Yeah. So it seems like, I mean, you've learned a lot along your journey. You've been doing lots of stuff. You're still learning lots of stuff. Mm-hmm. What is like one of your most favoriteest memories that maybe like taught you something in like a positive sense? Obviously meaning me. Ugh, come on, that was a trick. You like don't try to answer that one.
I feel like, but honestly though, I feel like the best things happen when the like worst things happen.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm learning. Like the big negative thing typically isn't really that negative.
Yeah.
Like if you're actually like, if you can soften in it and allow the full thing to play out, it's actually like really fucking beautiful. Like the way we met was like so jarring. Backstory, we were dating the same man and found out at a pop-up I was doing. And we're like, wait, but I like you.
Yeah, like,
and I think I want to be your friend. Because you seem fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then every time we've hung out, we're like,
yes,
that's my bitch.
100%.
Yep. And it's like, I think about it, I'm like, that was so, like, I was upset, but like, I really genuinely don't care now.
Yeah.
Like, our friendship is so much stronger than like, whatever that could have been for me and him, that I'm just like, this is adding more value in my life.
Yeah, I like think about all the people that I've met in Puerto Rico, and I'm like, Jade's my favorite. Jade's my favorite. I love you. It was like, the most bizarre meeting that it's like could be a movie, honestly.
It really could be. The amount
Maybe
of time
that's what's next for us as we become movie stars.
I'm ready.
Oh my god.
I'm ready.
Where's that debut?
We're ready to sign our contracts. Let me know. I should have been a theater kid, FYI.
Oh my goodness, the doodle is back! See, we're on to something because
that was
the doodle
gone again.
returned.
The doodle returned. Beth and Jade, Return of the Doodle.
That's the movie. Come here! Oh my goodness!
What a fuzzy little baby.
Oh my gosh! I need to know what kind of doodle this is, and for some reason I feel like it's a schnoodle.
A schnoodle, a schnauzer doodle?
Oh. Yeah.
Who did
I really hope
doodle,
that it
baby?
is, and that it comes to give us a hug.
Aw. Yay! All my friends are here.
So, I think I have a question for you. What are you like really excited about coming up in your life?
Oh. I don't have any like tangible things. I'm really floating.
Ooh.
I'm free floating, and it's a scary feeling for me because having those plans, like always having something like at least a month out or 2 months out, is like, I think, a grounding thing for me. And I mean, I'm going to Italy, like for a friend's wedding. I'm like pumped about that. I've never been to Europe, which is like insane. I've only like stopped there, like in layovers. So I'm excited to experience that. But I'm also just excited to like, I'm most excited to see where I can go when I let go of like so many self-limiting beliefs. Like I'm so excited to see what my life is gonna be, because like being here it's almost easier to hear those self-limiting beliefs and see how it's playing out in my life. Because also Puerto Rico, like it does not reward playing safe. She doesn't reward you being small. She doesn't reward you being safe. She doesn't reward you being anxious. She doesn't reward you like trying to be prepared. She rewards you in like being brave enough to just like show up.
Pretty much, yeah.
And move and see what happens.
Yep.
And like that is causing me to like really reflect and like hear these voices and like see the things that I'm thinking and like be like, do I want to think that? How is this showing up in my life? Like, how is this controlling me? You know? So I'm looking forward to like releasing a lot of these like big self-limiting like blocks that I have of just like that my brain and my nervous system is like, no, this is how we stay safe. Like, we can't, let's go, we're gonna die if we don't have it. And I'm like, I think we're gonna be okay, I just have to breathe through it. Like, we just gotta breathe, guys.
Like, no, keep doing that thing. It's obviously not working, but you're gonna keep doing it anyway.
If you stop, then you're definitely gonna die. The only reason you haven't died yet is because you keep doing it. And I'm like, yes, that's also why I have so much anxiety, I think. Like, I would like to stop.
Yeah. Can I get off the ride now, please?
I'm not having fun anymore. I'm most excited about, just like getting to the core of who I am.
Yeah.
Taking off all those layers and all the shoulds and coulds and the identities that I've worn and the masks that I've worn. Just being like, this is all like old shit. It can be donated. Like, I don't need it.
Yep.
Not helpful anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just ready to like fully tap into Jade.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's gonna be fun. So I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Who is your ride to the airport? And this is especially prevalent now that your car is dead. To be clear, the car is dead.
My friend Jasmine.
Jasmine, okay.
I scheduled, I was like, so, I asked her like, when my car broke down, I was like, if my car isn't okay, could you bring me to the airport maybe on Wednesday? She was like, yeah, girl, you're good.
Don't worry
I got
about
you.
it.
I was like, okay, thanks.
You're gonna need it because little car baby is not making a reemergence. It don't seem like.
Need to go find another car now.
Yeah.
Oh God.
The Puerto Rico problem. That is the Puerto Rico problem. Always be looking for a car.
Oh yeah.
Gotta have like a backup for your backup.
You really do. You need to have like 4.
You need to have 4 cars.
Maybe that's why people have like so many cars.
Actually, I think so.
It's like how people have so many boards.
Yeah.
They just have a bunch of cars.
Yeah, you need like 4 surfboards because like your backup board is obviously gonna get destroyed when that one's getting repaired.
Done.
And so you need
just
that
constantly
one.
switching, moving, flowing. It's giving you the space to constantly be in flow.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna have 7 cars.
7 cars, 6 surfboards. That's life.
Yeah. That is how you do it, folks.
Thank you so much.
That's it.
I think this is good.
Yeah, me too.